Are there matters that we need to take up before we bring jurors?
Judge, just after this first witness, the second one is on the flight and expecting to land 10 till 10 and has investigator driving her directly here. We're hoping 10:30. Just what I told
Yes, sir.
everybody yesterday.
Exactly.
And I just have a housekeeping charge, I think we can handle it just before we
Yes, sir. Thank you all again for arriving promptly so we can get underway. I believe we are ready to ask of the state, is there further evidence for the state?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. The state called Mike Myers to the stand.
Raise your right. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Foss.
State your name for the court, please.
Mike Myers,
For the court reporter, could you spell your last name?
M-Y-E-R-S.
Mr. Myers, where do you live?
I live in Monroe, North Carolina,
And where are you employed?
at Harris Teeter.
How long have you been employed at Harris Teeter?
A little over 18 years.
All right. What is your current title at Harris Teeter?
My current title is Manager of E-Business Data and Analytics.
Back in 2013 and the beginning of 2014, what were your duties at Harris Teeter?
I managed our VIC customer database.
All right. And what does that mean, the VIC customer database?
Essentially a database that we keep all of our customers' personal information that they fill out in their applications when they come into our store, and also any of the data that's related to our VIC card, which is scanned during transactions at our stores.
And does Harris Teeter have the ability, whether you're a VIC customer or not, does Harris Teeter have the ability to take various requests from customers or law enforcement about trying to track a particular purchase or item?
We do.
Okay. And what are the different ways that you can look up these various transactions?
If we know the date and time or an item that was purchased, we can look in the transaction logs and see the store and specific visit numbers and the actual time of the purchase. And then we can take that information and go to our finance department, essentially, and they can look up those same transactions in the store for that day and that time, and they can, recover any credit cards that may have been associated with that transaction, even if there wasn't a VIC card present.
And Mr. Myers, in the course of your employment and responsibilities at Harris Teeter, you're familiar with the various databases and record-keeping processes of Harris Teeter?
I am very.
The request could be a simple UPC code of an item?
Correct.
And what is UPC? What is the UPC code in general?
It's a universal product code. It's a little barcode that's on the back of all products that gets scanned at the point of sale.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
I'll show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 86 for identification purposes, Mr. Myers. Do you recognize what State's Exhibit 86 is?
I do.
What is State's Exhibit 86?
It's essentially a report of the transactions for a specific product that was purchased during a time frame. It shows essentially the date and time, the store, the product purchased, and any VIC card that was associated with that product.
Okay. Is State's Exhibit 86 a record that is prepared in the normal course of business at Harris Teeter?
It is.
And the transactions listed in State's Exhibit 86 made at or near the time the circumstances reflected in State's Exhibit 86?
They are.
All right. And did you actually have personal participation in the law enforcement request to Harris Teeter in this case?
I actually pulled this information specifically myself. A young lady in our customer relations department relayed the information to me, and I pulled the information for her.
And what was the lady's name?
Jessica Hill.
Okay.
Or Bell, I'm sorry, Jessica Bell.
Jessica Bell. All right. Your Honor, at this time, the state would move into evidence State's Exhibit 86. as
Any
identified.
objection?
No objection.
It's allowed.
Specifically, Mr. Myers, State's Exhibit 86, tell us exactly what this document is reflecting here.
I mean, it reflects 5 different purchases that we looked at. I believe the original request was to look at any purchases between January and the end of April for a specific knife and a Oneida chef's knife with the UPC that's listed here.
Tell us what the UPC number is for this particular knife you were asked to search for any possible purchases.
It's 7875305458.
Okay, let me slow that down for myself. Say it one more time, the UPC number.
I'm sorry, maybe that's 7675305458.
And is that the number underneath the UPC number column?
It is.
Okay. And specifically, was there a knife, that particular product purchased according to State Exhibit 86 on April 14th of 2013?
There was at 7:40 p.m.
All right. And at store number, that column store number,
That's 344.
do you know what store 344 is?
I can't remember the shopping center name.
Does Falls of the New Spring Forest Road sound familiar in Raleigh?
That does ring a bell.
That's fine. All right. Mr. Myers, may I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Tell you what's marked as State's Exhibit 87, Mr. Myers. Do you recognize what State's Exhibit 87 is?
I do.
What is State's Exhibit 87, please?
This is a list of transactions that were made by a specific Visa card. The same Visa card that was associated with one of the transactions that we were looking for, and it shows all the different dates and times of those purchases.
You were given a particular Visa card number to look in to see what purchases were made by this particular Visa card number?
Essentially, we gave our financial folks the date and time of the transaction. They came back with the Visa card number and then provided all the transactions associated with that.
Okay. And in State's Exhibit 87, is this the record that is normally kept and prepared in the ordinary course of the Harris Teeter's business?
It is.
And is the information reflected in State's Exhibit 87 made at or near the time of the transactions reflected in State's Exhibit 87?
It is. It's made at the essentially the exact same time.
Okay. The Visa number that you were asked to inquire about, what are the last 4 digits of the Visa number?
2670.
2670, all right. And at this time, Your Honor, the state would enter into evidence State's Exhibit 87.
Any objection? No objection. It's allowed.
On State's Exhibit 87, Mr. Myers, do you see a correlating purchase as you've just testified to about State's Exhibit 86, this Oneida knife with a particular UPC number?
I do.
Specifically, tell us what column and row we're talking about.
It's the 4th row, and the second column shows the store, 344. The 3rd column shows the date and the time.
What's the date and the time?
4/14/2013 at 7:40 p.m.
All right. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
If you would, Mr. Myers, on both these exhibits, starting with what you've just testified to on State's Exhibit 87, can you highlight the transaction you were just discussing on April 14, 2013, just the line?
Sure.
And you've highlighted that in yellow on State's Exhibit 87?
Yes, sir.
All right. And how about on State's Exhibit 86? Could you highlight the line that is consistent with the State's 87 line? You talked about the April 14th, 7:40 p.m. transaction. And for the record, Mr. Myers, did you just highlight the particular line in response to my question, State's Exhibit 86?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to say there's no further questions, Mr. Myers.
Cross-examination, Ms. Elliott? Yes, ma'am. may step down. Is this the point where you publish? Yes, sir.
The state would ask we have copies of States Exhibit 86 and 87 published at this time.
That'd be fine. So, bailiff. We have a delay.
Yes.
All right. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for this. We're in a situation where we're waiting on a witness to arrive from the airport, actually. So we will be in recess until 10:30. It's about 35 minutes from now. So if you'll just recall the instructions I've given you, please don't talk about the case among yourselves or with anyone else. Don't form or express opinions about the outcome, no media or independent investigation. And please have no conversations with parties, witnesses, or lawyers. Leave your notepads and the documents you were just examining. Those documents will be collected before you return and gather at 10:30. Thank you. Take up
Not from the state.
Mr. Arbor, Ms. Elliott. All right, so we'll be in recess until 10:30.